Well, good morning. Welcome. We got some exciting news here. And before we get started, I want to introduce some of our elected officials that are here. We have Representative Rohrcast and Representative Murphy. So thank you for coming this morning. Now, you may remember back in 2013, there was an announcement that National Envelope was closing, and 150 jobs were lost on this site, and 29 acres of prime development went dark and unproductive. Fast forward to just this past fall, when this perfect site, a mile from downtown, came available and WG&R Furniture approached the town of Grand Chute. Together, working collaboratively, they're putting in a ton of money to redevelop the site and make it productive retail again. But the site still does have some challenges, and that is why we're having this announcement today. With that, I'd like to introduce the governor of the great state of Wisconsin, Scott Walker. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Peter, and it's a beautiful day out. We're glad to be out here today on yet another perfect Wisconsin day. Peter, this really is a Chamber of Commerce kind of day. So we're pleased to be here. Chairman Showalter, thank you to you and to the town board for the great leadership. Jim, we're pleased with this announcement today. We're pleased to play a part. You can obviously see with what's going on here in the visuals here, not only for WG&R to have a state-of-the-art facility, but then to incorporate retail and commercial and entertainment, all sorts of aspects to that on this site. We're pleased to be a part of it. And so from the state of Wisconsin, we're investing $500,000 in what's called an idle site redevelopment grant. It's money that helps take sites that, as Peter mentioned, that have previously not been in the position we'd like them to be in a given community anywhere across the state, and help those dollars be reinvested and then leverage the other dollars that are being put into it. So we're absolutely thrilled today. This is going to be a state-of-the-art facility. What I like the most about this, though, and this really fits into what we see even in the state's economy overall, because I remember 8 years ago when I was just running to be your governor. At that time, I wasn't the governor, I was just a candidate. The beginning of that year in 2010, the unemployment rate in the state was 9.3%. So it was 9.3%, and it peaked out at that point. The last several months, it's been down to 2.8%. That's the lowest in state's history. And not only is it the lowest in state's history, it makes us one of the best states in America, not only in terms of unemployment, but actually the overall percentage of people in the workforce. And so we've seen that. We've seen from the end of December 2010 through the end of last year, wages overall in the private sector are up 25%. As the folks here in construction know, wages overall in construction are up about 50% during that time frame. So it's a good sign that it's not just about more jobs. It's about good paying, family supporting jobs. It's about supporting communities here in the Fox Valley and all across the state of Wisconsin. And we're pleased to be a part of it. Finally, I would just say, I've got two sons. One just turned 24 last Saturday. The other will be 23 at the end of the month. Both of them went to school here. Both went to public schools down in Wauwatosa, where we raised the kids. Both went to college here in the state of Wisconsin, and both left for a little while. After they graduated, both had jobs that took them briefly out of the state of Wisconsin. Today, both of them live and work here in the state of Wisconsin, which I don't know for any of you who are parents, but as a parent, my idea of the American dream is not just owning a house or even having a business, which is pretty cool. It's having your children graduate and find meaningful employment, ideally, and not just a job, but a career, and a career that keeps them somewhere close to home. Now, I don't want them in my basement, so I'm glad they have apartments, but I do want them close enough so that I can see them occasionally after church on Sundays for dinner, or I can go to a ball game, or I can do something fun with them like we're going to do. They're going to join me for a bunch of the parades throughout this week for Independence Day. And I got to think for a lot of us here in the Fox cities and all across the state, that's really our dream. And so when you have things like this replace what was here before, that sends a message to every one of our students, every one of our graduates, and all those millennials we need to have come in the state, because as we were talking about before, at 2.8% unemployment, we literally have more jobs posted right now in Wisconsin than we have people who are unemployed. We need to keep all of our graduates here. We need to make sure all of our students graduate first and foremost, keep them in the state of Wisconsin, and then attract more millennials and others that join us. Projects like this send a strong and powerful message, not just about the physical asset, but it sends a message that we're reinvesting in our state, and this is a dynamic place to be in, to be from, and to come to along the way. So congratulations to everybody involved. We're thrilled that the state played a role in it. Peter?
With that, I'd like to introduce Town Chairman of the Town of Grand Chute, David Showalter, to make a few comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for being here. What a gorgeous Wisconsin day. On behalf of the Town of Grand Chute, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation and the state of Wisconsin for investing in our community. The grant received from WEDC was a key component in the redevelopment of this site that has remained inactive for several years. I would like also to express our appreciation to Jim Green and his team at Green Development for having the vision and fortitude to invest in this site and overcome all of the challenges, and there were many, involved in a large-scale redevelopment project like this. This project will revitalize a highly visible site along Highway I-41 corridor that remained idle for several years by replacing an abandoned industrial building with a vibrant commercial retail destination. The project will enhance the regional hospitality and entertainment district in Grand Chute and serve as a catalyst for future top-tier commercial development. The town has created Tax Increment District Number 3 to support this redevelopment project and make necessary upgrades to public infrastructure in the surrounding area. This project will serve as an anchor to the district, which will incorporate future projects on the west side of Highway 41, between 41 and Casaloma Drive. The town of Grand Chute is excited to continue the public-private partnership that has been created with Green Development as redevelopment of this site moves forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now it's my great pleasure that I can introduce Jim Green from WG&R to make some comments too. This site is perfect for this company because I did put the trip meter on it coming out here. It is truly 1 mile from downtown. So with that, thank you WG&R for this investment.
Thank you, Peter. Well, good morning. As you mentioned, I'm Jim Green, the CEO and the developer for this project. I want to start by thanking Governor Scott Walker and the state of Wisconsin for this grant. I also want to thank the team of leaders from Grand Chute for their partnership on this project. Both have been instrumental in making this project a reality. What you're seeing here today is the construction of phase 1 of the Center Valley development, which will be completed this fall. Specifically, this phase of development will include WG&R's new flagship location and associated sub-brands, including WG&R Sleep Shop, a regional clearance center, and a new August Haven location. Also, this phase will include significant street improvements to Wisconsin Avenue, including an extension of West Hill Boulevard through Wisconsin Avenue into the development, as well as the construction of an on-site bridge crossing Mud Creek, stormwater retention ponds, and utility stubs that'll service this phase and future phases of development. Future phases will likely begin yet this year, concurrent to this first phase, and continue into 2020. Once complete, this project is expected to be a $40 million development with 240,000 square feet of world-class retail space, and its resulting economic impact will be significant in both job creation and in strengthening the local tax base. With over 100,000 cars a day passing this site from various directions, this is one of the few remaining premier retail location opportunities in Wisconsin. I wasn't the first developer to recognize the potential of this site. However, the pre-existing site conditions and the resulting economic challenges made this a difficult site to develop. Pre-existing conditions, to name a few, included an outdated 300,000 square foot building containing hazardous materials that needed to be demolished, a creek splitting the site requiring a bridge, and inadequate site access that needed to be overcome. Despite the challenges, we're now here today witnessing what a win-win private-public partnership can make possible. The Idle Sites Redevelopment Grant represents a kind of private-public partnership among WG&R, the state of Wisconsin, and Grant Chute that can affect real change in both economic progress and in the physical beautification of a community. So thank you again, Governor Walker and the town of Grant Chute. In closing, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank some of the other stakeholders and partners in this project who took time to be here today. My wife, Megan, her mother, Sue, and my daughters, Katie and Grace, my dad and his wife, Dee Dee, my amazing team from WG&R, Robert E. Lee, our site engineers, Tom Lemkel, our architect, Mid-America, our brokers, Nicolay Bank, who's financing this project, Rodak, our general contractor, and all the talented subcontractors on this project. Finally, Nalita Burr and the rest of her team at Wisconsin Development Corporation, who did a lot of heavy lifting in the grant application process. Thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful and safe 4th of July.